Welcome back, everyone. Here's our 6 players tonight, 5 Americans and 1 Englishman. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the game. I'm Leanne Tweeden. Tonight, the winner is going to go home with that $25,000 check, but more important, a chance at the $1 million table coming up in March. Now, before I reintroduce you to our players, please welcome our alternate tonight, who is Jonathan Kreisler from Texas. He'll be taking in the Poker Dome from out here in our audience. All right, to seat 1, it's Steve Day from Washington State. Steve's been a professional poker player for over 3 years now and says he'd love it if he never had to have a boss again in his life. Wouldn't we all? Next to Steve, it's Carl Lawson, also from Washington. Now, as Barry told you before, Steve and Carl were roomies at a previous World Series of Poker event. On to seat 3, we have Chad Padgett from Tennessee. Chad, who's known to his friends as Snoopy, says that his favorite athlete is Andrew Jones and his favorite movie is The Outlaw Josie Wales. In seat 4 from England, it's Chris Newman. Chris is a freelance IT consultant and author who's played poker for the last 5 years and tells me he believes everything happens for a reason. In seat 5, it's our chip leader, Trey Aiken from Alabama. Trey picked up playing poker when he was looking for something to occupy his time after having 3 back-to-back surgeries a couple of years ago. And finally, it's Tom Basham from Pennsylvania. Tom's currently unemployed, but aspires to play poker professionally and own his own bar. Barry, it's a good table tonight. Back to you.
Good and a competitive table, Leanne. Thank you very much. And right now, our chip leader is Trey Aiken. The blinds have gone up now to 1,000 and 2,000. Everybody's won a hand now with the exception of Chris Newman. And Dave with the King Jack here. Basham will fold a 10-6 now. Day.
Call. Check. And that word call got Day in a lot of trouble when he had the queens. He failed to define his hand.
There is a pair, big pair for Aiken.
Check. Check. 4,000.
Aiken, 4,000. Now let's see what Day gets out of the way this time. Respecting the man opposite him this time, as he didn't the last time. So Aiken, chip leader, increasing to 63,000 now. This could be interesting here between Day and Padgett, should they both hang around.
C1 raises to 7,000.
Fold.
C2 folds.
Enough to get Olsen with a king little out. Now Padgett.
And Barry, you note with the blinds going up, the pre-flop pot limit is now larger, and all of a sudden these guys are playing for 5-figure pots.
Now this should be interesting with that ace on the flop.
If Padgett checks here, which I expect him to do, Day needs to bet. 10,000.
Yep.
C1 bets to
Bold
10,000.
10,000 bet.
And what he's doing is basically continuing to tell the story that he started in the first place, which is, I have a big hand. I'm not just stealing on the button. I've got some pretty cards here.
And Padgett's not going to hang around to find out. That was well played, I thought, by Day. Day being the aggressor, and that was good enough. Well, look at this. This should be interesting.
And you got to feel for Newman. The guy hasn't won a single chip yet. He's finally dealt a pair of jacks, and his opponent, Basham, has the pocket aces.
Re-raises the pot. Olsen gets out of the way with that ace-4.
Newman better be careful here. He could go broke. Time is running out, Barry.
Got to do something here. 3-2, and he folds the hand wisely. He would be a very happy guy that he did that.
Wow, great fold.
And Aiken also folds a king-jack. So Basham wins the pot, but maybe not quite as much as he would have liked, or he might have been able to had it have been differently played. This is a guy who was unemployed. He lives in Pittsburgh, and this tournament couldn't have come at a better time for him. One door closes, he says, another one opens.
This past Monday, I was fired from my job in sales. I actually have a degree from the University of Pittsburgh in political science, and I also have a paralegal license from Duquesne. I don't know what I'm going to do next, but definitely law school is something in mind. This opportunity has been great for me because of me getting laid off on Monday. If I win, the money is going to buy me some time to think about what I want to do here in the future.
Sounds like he's got some options, though.
It's hard not to root for a guy like that, Barry. And moreover, it's sort of a great Cinderella story. Thomas Basham's poker experience amounts to 3 years of Thursday night games with his buddies.
Yep.
Here he is on national television playing for $25,000. Wouldn't that be a great story?
Against a couple of pros and a well-educated guy. We should point out this is a pretty well-educated table here. All but one of our contestants are college graduates.
We expect the winner to quote Cicero in his acceptance speech.
Of course, of course. Six, deuce, 10.
2 diamonds for Aiken.
Yep.
That's what he was looking for. I expect that check was meant to check raise. Aiken loves his hand right now. Well, not so much.
Not as much, yeah. Now let's see what happens. Aiken could be bold here.
Check. 12,000.
I knew he was going to do that.
I got to take you to the
I've been
racetrack.
watching too much of this, haven't I?
And Aiken has counted out the chips to call.
He does. Wow.
He's looking for a diamond.
He was not going to be scared off of this hand. Doesn't get the diamond, but he paired the queen.
The only way Day wins this hand is to make a huge bluff.
And he did that.
And that qualifies as a huge bluff. All his chips on a 7 high. Will Aiken find the courage to call with second pair? No, he will not.
Wow. Well, Day did that flawlessly. I mean, he did not give a clue as to what he was thinking or what he had in his hand. That's well played. It'll be interesting to see if that doesn't set the tone for the rest of the night.